We're continuing to follow breaking news out of Holyoke following the death of a cannabis cultivation employee. Welcome everyone to Western Mass News at 6 on this Tuesday. I'm Chris Pisano. Western Mass News now hearing more from Trulieve on what happened the night of the incident and their plans regarding the violations filed against them. Western Mass News reporter Lexi Oliver joins us live in studio with more on that. Lexi.
Chris, Trulieve now identifying that employee to us as Lorna McMurray. She died in the hospital in January after allegedly inhaling marijuana dust while packaging pre-rolls. The Holyoke Fire Department confirming to Western Mass News they responded to a call on January 7th around 11 p.m. Captain David Rex says in part, quote, that call is apparently under investigation by the medical examiner and by police. McMurray was working at the Trulieve facility on North Bridge Street in Holyoke that night when the Department of Labor's Occupational Safety and Health Administration reports she had trouble breathing and later died. Western Mass News has learned from OSHA that they've filed 3 citations against Trulieve related to lack of appropriate training and available safety information for hazardous chemicals. Those violations totaling more than $35,000 in fines. A spokesperson for Trulieve tells us in part, quote, our hearts go out to Miss McMurray's family, friends, and colleagues as the circumstances around her passing have recently resurfaced, resulting in their having to re-experience their loss. Out of respect for the family's privacy, we are not going to provide any details as to the specifics of that day. However, OSHA conducted a thorough investigation of the Holyoke facility. PPE was available on site. They tested the air quality throughout the facility and the samples were all well below acceptable ranges. OSHA did issue citations related to communication standards and Trulieve has contested those findings. We cherish and value all of the 9,000 employees who make Trulieve a family, and the safety of our team members is paramount to our core values. The Hamden District Attorney's Office tells us there is no active criminal investigation into McMurray's death. We've reached out to the attorney for McMurray's family on this, but have not yet heard back. Reporting live in studio for Western Mass News, I'm Lexi Oliver.